Welcome back, everyone, and get ready for another episode of the New Motorcycle Riders Podcast, where we dive deep into all things motorcycle related. But before we start, hit that subscribe and notification button to stay on top of our latest podcast topics and discussions. We upload new podcasts weekly, and it doesn't cost you anything to join in. Plus, it really helps us to reach out to more motorcyclists. Also, if you have a motorcycle-related topic and you'd like to hear it discussed on our podcast, please send me a message to andrew@newmotorcycleriders.com, and let's make that happen. Again, thank you for joining us on our podcast, and please leave us a comment below. Also, don't forget to check out our new book, New Motorcycle Riders, Motorcycling for Beginners. It's available at Amazon and major bookstores. Today, we're going to talk about an old saying. I like talking about myths and old sayings because most are totally wrong, or at least partially wrong. Today I'm going to talk about the old saying, practice makes perfect. Does it really? Let's take the word perfect. I don't like it because being perfect today doesn't mean you will be perfect tomorrow. Now let's take the word practice. Practice only reinforces what you're learning. If you're learning wrong, all you're doing is reinforcing bad habits. That's why it's important to learn good habits from the start. Habits, a lot of times, especially bad habits, can be very hard to break later on. It's important to practice good habits for muscle memory, not for perfection. When we practice, it's in a controlled environment. But when you're on the road, it's not. If something happens when you're out riding, you will revert back to what you have learned in practice. That's why learning good habits is so crucial. I hear of so many seasoned riders who continue to do the same thing over and over again because nothing bad has ever happened to them. In their mind, they swear that what they are doing is correct because it has never been put to the test. Don't wait until it has to be put to the test. I've always said, luck is good to have, but terrible to rely on, because it can run out one day, and that is when your skills will need to kick in. If you have no skills, then you're out of luck. Now, let's talk about the controlled environments as opposed to real-life scenarios. In a controlled environment, it is much more relaxed because you know what's coming next. But in a real situation, panic and fear can kick in. When that happens, you may react totally different than you would in a controlled situation. We may not know how we will react, but we can prepare ourselves to the best of our abilities to be prepared for it. No one can be perfect all the time, but we can be the best that we are at any given time. Repetition is the key. Constantly perform good habits and it will become second nature because there usually is no time to think in an emergency situation. Well, that's going to do it for today's podcast, folks. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it. Please leave a comment below about the episode or anything you thought we may have missed. Also, contact me at andrew@newmotorcycleriders.com if there is something in particular you would like to hear discussed on our podcast. Maybe you'd like to be a guest host on our podcast. Let us know. As always, be safe and enjoy your ride.